Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It's Solid, and we're actually going to check out the current banners. I actually don't want to delay this one too much, because sadly, as it stands, I will not be summoning on it, as tempting as the banners are right now. And they are truly tempting, let me just say. So, let's actually take a look at it. So, currently we have the selection banner for Zeta, we have the selection banner for Alpha, and we have the rival selection banner for the old summer characters for Claire and Alexia. We have those four characters. And I do believe we're possibly getting another banner in like a week or so. That would be my expectation, because 6 days, if it goes away fully, it kind of would make sense, but yeah, so what can I say? So for starters, characters, bomb. They look fantastic. I'm not gonna hold you. They look absolutely pristine. Would probably go broke if I did spend money. Just on aesthetics, really. Utility-wise, I did kind of check up on them a little bit. As much as I like Alpha, the cosmetic is fine. I prefer Zetas by a long shot. And for reasons, and yeah. So the question is, what should theoretically summon on? Supposing you're spending your money. This is you. This is your choice. So let's actually take a look at what elements we have. So that's no probabilities. Let's check the summon details, right? I don't know, that's not it. We're checking the profiles, I think. So for starters, we have the rival summons. This is probably like your quote-unquote best bang for your buck, as in 2% chance for the characters are summer outfits. They're old. They are indeed old. That is kind of like the biggest downside to them. Skills-wise, effect 2. Fascinating. Huh. That's actually not bad. So yeah, let's actually take a look at the old units, because realistically, if you want a chance to get like a summer outfit unit, unless you're going for Zeta, because personally that's like one of my favorite looking characters. So we have 4 options, right? So we have Summer Alexis, Summer Claire, Summer Alpha, and Summer Zeta. At least for the current standpoint, I believe we're going to get another week, another banner, possibly. Just kind of, I have a guess. Because I think we're missing the beta. We're missing beta as one of the summer characters, but I'm not sure if they're coming back or not. I'm not entirely certain. I think the main problem with some of these characters right now is that they are relatively niche. They've had their usefulness. I think genuinely, like currently, some of the best blue units in the game probably come from more of the idle teams. So if we take a look at it at PvP, I think, versus, right? I think Bush and Festival, we'll see if some of the blue teams, because I don't have any. It's the main issue. So we have let's see. Old Christmas Alexia. No. I don't think I never really summoned on the old banners. Let me double check. Yep, no, so we have Firm. Let me see if I can pull up some information. The main issue of someone like trying to figure out some of the units really is just trying to figure out some of like the old stuff. Some summer units or I guess like blue units database for Master of Garden, maybe? I don't know if I have like a database for that kind of stuff. Hmm. Okay, so it takes it back. Ocean Temptations Beta is blue. Okay, so there's like a whole lot of blue units. I think one of the best ones I remember was from like the collab. Yep. Nene, Momosusu Nene was like a really good unit back in the collab, I think. Honor Student Alpha is also a unit. I'm trying to see if I can find it, because I don't see it. Oh, okay, I think I might have found it. Hopefully this is up to date. Okay, so we are looking for... I don't think this is up to date. God, this is I'm trying to find a... No, this is not Notice's fault, really. Idle. If I can find idle. Oh. Idle. Master of Garden. Characters. Eminence and Shadow. Oh no, they're red units. Never mind. So they're yeah. Okay, so those are invincibility units. Never mind. So I thought they were blue. I'm lying. I'm entirely lying. Apologize. Our apologies for making this already too long. Regardless. Okay, so I guess that just kind of takes it back to like if we take a look at like at least like blue characters right now. Some of the best blue characters we have right now are not even part of it. So these are currently some of the best characters on the blue team right now as it stands, including Shadow, SF Shadow. Those are probably some of the best characters in the game as it stands, period. For PvP was, still stands like, or PvE was, is probably still the same. I don't think there's anything else. Momo says, or Nene, VTuber Momo. I'm just gonna call him Momo, yeah. Momo Susune Nene, or good god. Momo Susune Nene? I can't speak for anything really. TLDR, there's very few characters that are really truly meta. If anything, I think one of the best characters that we have in the meta currently right now is probably the old Alpha, and that's because of her really strong weapon that reduces damage by like increases her defensive characters by 60%. And reduces damage from like enemies and stuff. Yeah, yep. Inflicts damage. This is mediocre. This is the best weapon, probably one of the best weapons I've seen in the game. It increases. It gives them bleed resist, stun resist to all allies. 40% increase in defense, as well as increases damage by 20%. That's kind of it. Crit defense, that's not bad. This is kind of like a mediocre weapon. Realistically, you probably want to do literally any other weapon other than this one. Like, this is bad. Like, this will probably give you, like, the correct infusions for Alpha. I think the problem comes from some of these skills that she has that are kind of, like, mediocre. It raises defense. If she's awakened, she does even more. She recovers her HP by 30% of attack. But the assumption is, right, so even assuming this is max, right? So her healing is much better, but if you don't have her weapon, it's like 4.5% extra defense, which may be the difference between winning and not winning. But realistically, if you were gonna lose by 4%, you didn't stand a chance. Like that is actual reality. And inflicted for full elemental allies. Because I think currently, like, one of the best things. Okay, so that makes a bit of a difference, 4%, and that's awakened. So it's 4%. Without that, it's 12%. 2% for that 4%. It makes more sense with this one. It increases damage to everything behind it. This makes sense. The weapon makes sense with this one, but overall, like, some of it can be like leading the edge of like winning. It can be. The problem is, like, if you have her main weapon, or the weapon I'm talking about, it is already pretty good. Like, that is really one of the biggest things that will make her break a character. If you have her SS plus weapon, and if you have her SS plus weapon, you have it maxed out properly. There's also like a mixture of like a sync, not in syncness, but if the characters match well, essentially. And currently, so we have 4 blue characters. I think personally, probably Kara is probably one of the better characters from what I saw, especially with increasing this stuff with Sid, right? So special abilities, so this is her passive. Further raises damage for Sid and her by 30%. So if anybody, she's really good. Especially with this one, if you max her out, when own HP falls below 90%. So if her HP is below 90, it increases damage inflicted by Sid and herself by 40%. I think in PvP this matters like a lot. It shouldn't really matter too much outside of PvP. I think this is probably like one of the best PvP characters for, I think, Blue Shadow. Inflicts 150% damage, also lowers attack by 15 seconds, further reduces attack by 50% if Red Elemental. Raises stun resistance for all blue elements odds by 8%. Ooh. Okay, so the stun resist for blue elemental allies is kind of mediocre. This is actually really mediocre. This was probably really good on release. What you could do with this, right? So if you don't have Alpha maxed out, you could probably use another blue tank. I don't know about Alexia. I don't know if Alexia's any good. I think she might be. Reduces damage, same thing as Alpha stuff. But I do have her weapon, actually. I don't think there's any unit that I have that's blue that's a tank. The blue Alpha is probably one of the most prevalent tanks, I think, in the game currently. In Perfect Swordplay, Alexia's probably a better one, though. Most likely a better one. I don't really have access to her, but I think she's a Shadowfest character, so she probably would do the job of, like, her 2 times over. But even okay, so we'll compare a couple characters, right? So the reason I'm doing this, right, is because some of the old characters are pretty good. Some if you already have them, it makes more sense for you to like invest on them and really to not really mind what I'm saying. Some of the characters are really just here for support. If the support is good, which Claris is mostly good for like Shadow, like her kit. Like this is really good for PvP, but like unless you have them like maxed out, it's kind of like whatever. So this is actually not that bad. This would probably like increase your stuff like a lot. Further resist attack by 80% for 20 seconds if Sid Kagana. So race, I don't know if this means raises Sid's attack by for Sid or herself. I think it might be Sid, which would be really good actually. 80% to 50% attack is a lot. Raises an attack by 65% permanent. Also raises speed by 50%. The speed thing is really good. Oh, actually, this is for ultimate. Okay, that's kind of good. Further inflicts seal on self for 60 seconds. Cannot be cancelled. That is bad. What? What? Oh. That's weird. Huh. Fascinating. So you can't ultimate after... That is kind of like a bad PvE unit. That's weird. That is actually really terrible. Like, it's really good if you're, like, going for, like, a one-hit kill, I guess, for that standpoint, but since it's just one hit, this is not really that good. It's actually really bad. This is good. Looking. This is terrible. Enemies. Is it multiple within the 100? This is multiple? That might not be that bad, actually. This is single target on singular enemy. This is AoE on all enemies within range. Okay, so that's interesting. The range is not that high, then. I don't know if this really matters so much. I won't hold you. 100 centimeters does not mean a thing to me. I don't know if the range is good, but this is good for PvP, I guess, for AoE wise. But man, is that like no effect on it? It's kind of bad. Cancels. Okay. Okay, I see. This is bad. This is really bad for cancels all shield effects on a single enemy. That is wild. So this would absolutely screw over any shield character that you have. That's rough. That's rough. The fact that it's a single character is really interesting. Water play lowers defense on enemies by 100 centimeters. Further infliction 100 damage, 10%. When awakened is 15%. That's gonna eat. Elegant curves. At the start wave, races on attack by 25% if partied with 3 or more. It's mediocre. Over a link here. Races own inflicted damage by 40% until surviving allies falls below 5. That's bad. That is actually bad for PvP. I don't even want to talk about like increase like awakening, because I'm not gonna hold you. Most of the effects for some of these characters, even if they're max, can really vary. Like 2500, like it's an extra 500%, like 500%. This would be really good for PvE content for stuff, as well as the cancel shield effects. But it's primarily just for PvE. It's also not as good as I'd like it to be. This is like good, because here's the thing, right? So 2500 damage is cool, it's good. I think realistically you're gonna hit damage cap with him. That's kind of what worries me. So damage cap, shield effects is good. Assuming you fight an enemy with a shield, that's good. Other than that, this kind of becomes like a mediocre card. It's an extra 32% extra damage. That's really kind of not worth it. Especially not for Awakening 1. Awakening 2 is not bad. You can actually have 100% into your attack on your ultimate, which is like depending on how many enemies you have, may quintuple the damage. Or well, it's like an increase of like 25%, but like yeah, it's 25% overall. It may mean entirely much more damage, but like it's really weird. This is an increase of 50% damage from Awakened and lowering the defense with 10%. All enemies. That's pretty good actually. It also inflicts damage with 150. So this is an AoE character. That's pretty good actually. This being this is kind of like a mediocre shield. I think personally probably one of the weirdly worse ones. The reason being is because if your enemy doesn't have a shield, I think the base damage is kind of high. Let's see. So let's try her out on for size. 150 on all enemies within 150 centimeters. Racism attack. Okay, how about this one? Singular enemy and AoE. 150 damage. I mean, her skill. I mean, she has like an attack, like dual attacking skill, so that's not bad. So shields her own damage. I guess let's try bait and see what her stuff is. I mean, this is regular single attack damage. I mean, the cancel debuff is, I guess, is fun. Is like acceptable, right? Okay, so triple hit. This was 300%. This is really good, actually. It's a really good card. Especially if you hit like a little bit past damage cap, so each one has also a chance to crit, which may be really good or bad. Depends on your luck, really. I think for Claire, yeah, so 4 hits, ingrants demon power on self, so this is really good. So this is 275, or 275, actually it's 200 plus an extra 100. No, it's 200, that's 200%. I think it's 300%, if I did the math right. 225 plus an extra 75. So that's 4 hits. Ideally with crits, and then 100%, 100%, 100%, that's 400%. That's alright. Raises attack of allies for the shield's damage by 15%, by 100% of skill users. I think if you're able to like break down the skill, that would be fine. Yeah, no. A singular hit of like 100% is kind of bad nowadays. Multiple hits is fine. I mean, their kits are kind of like on the prospect of, like, they're okay. I think the best thing she has is that she has like 2 attack skills. And lowers defense, inflicts damage on all enemies within range. Cancel effect shields on things in a single enemy. Yeah, the fact that she has 2 skills is, or 2 attack skills is not necessarily like a bad thing. So she can be used like in 2 different ways. How about her passive? Raises attack by 30. So if it's 3 or more, that's fine. The fact that this will drop. I said this one that it will drop if it's like less than 5. No, there's somebody's stuff that will drop if it's like. Yep. Resistance damage. Yeah, this is bad. This is a bad weapon. That's the weapon that kind of disappointed me. So this weapon is disappointing. Her kit overall is decent. It's acceptable, basically. Is if you got her, you're gonna be the most upset. Claire's, I think, is probably the best one for PvP, realistically. Because if you manage to hit like this thing, if they're not dead, I'm not gonna hold you. You have different issues, but at this point, you like erase your speeds to the highest, so you're killing. If they somehow live, you're like already gone. including the passives, the passive and the weapon she has, is probably the best case scenario. So if you have a weapon, if you have her passive, she will hit really, really hard. She will make Shadow hit really hard, which a lot of people just have as a meta character still, especially for blue units. Let's see. Yeah, blue Shadow is still very meta. Her with her other Claire is not bad. I think a lot of people pair them with like human teams, kind of essentially, so kind of like get rid of that stuff. So it's not necessarily like the best team, but it'll probably like a really interesting blue team you can make. There are other characters, but I think personally from the Revival banner, Claire is probably the best one. Now, to actually take a look at Alpha, because I didn't actually look at Alpha herself, and it's not that she looks bad, I'm not going to hold you. None of the characters look bad. They're all great. You're making a choice at this point now. That is like a really high multiplier. So 3,000 between all enemies, so I think since it's a one instance kind of thing, it's not necessarily a good thing. I don't know what exactly it means when this is distributed though. If anybody knows what distributed means, let me know, because I'm kind of curious about it. Lowers defense of all enemies within this thing further... Oh, okay, that's a... See, this is what I'm talking about, right? So 500% distributed damage, 600% distributed damage. That may not be the best thing, really. Lowers defense of all enemies within 600 centimeters. But I think like the biggest thing is this is distributed damage. If you're fighting a singular enemy, you're gonna hit for 500 or 600. This is not actually the worst thing ever. It's actually not bad. Resist attack by 20% for 20 seconds, for the resist damage by 20 seconds. And then resist speed by 20 seconds. So, Sunny Day is a terrible card. Please tell me that's not the first one. Third? For 10% buff? God, I would have left that on last. I think probably this one is probably going to be the best one. It's Wicked Special Ability. Sunny Day is probably like the second worst ability. It's really good since it's doing like 3 different things. Does it cut the time? Nope. Oh, it erases the time. It doesn't. So this skill is good at the base. The fact that it's 3 is not the worst thing ever, but I think the best thing that you probably would have gotten out of that is probably a Wicked Special Ability, and the fact that it's so far behind is kind of a bad thing. But let's actually see if it's actually worth that level. Special Ability, there we go. So to start a wave, raises speed of allies by 10% for 60 seconds. For the raises damage inflicted by 20% for 60 seconds. And accuracy by 30 seconds for 60 seconds if elemental. Wait. What the? What is this wording? What does this mean? Further raises damage inflicted by 20% for 60 seconds, and accuracy by 30% for 60 seconds? What? The start of battle raises speed of allies by 20 seconds, 20%, that's fine. The 20% extra damage should probably like, be the biggest difference, really. But what does it mean by also? Further races. If you understand what that exactly entails, because it could also mean like it's a multiplicative thing versus an additive thing. It could mean that, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, we were check this one out. This one's not a bad skill if you're like playing single target instead of like the multiple target. So this makes a singular target skill into a AoE skill, which is actually not bad. I think personally, it's pretty like a unique one. This one. This is just a buffing skill, so that's whatever. What does a normal attack do? Flicks 3 attacks, so that's pretty rad, like 120? 100%. And then Link Gear. At the start of battle, shields are damaged by that, further raises attack by 20%. So she's got her own kind of thing going for her. So I think she might be a good character for Dark Knight. Especially with given how many buffs she kind of gives to herself at a base level. She'd probably be decent enough. As a buffer, she's kind of okay. I'm a little disappointed on this, but this really doesn't matter too much because it's a 20% extra increase. Depending on the way they word it, if it's multiplicative versus additive, or if it's additive versus multiplicative on the like end thing, this might be really, really crazy, but I won't hold you. Sometimes speed may be the difference between you killing and not. It is, I think, highly more important at times to have speed from what I've heard. Especially if you can get your rotation in faster, that means you can like buff yourself even more. I think Sunny's skill is like a weird one. I think this is like... Did it reward it as well? Because I couldn't tell you what that means exactly. So, further raises damage. Nope, it didn't reward it. It's the same shit. It's just 10% extra attack. That's actually kind of mediocre for a buff. Especially since it's in the third slot. This is terrible. This is like terrible for a third slot. Like that means you would have gone 3 dupes. That's bad. That's really bad. 4 standard, and other than that, it's perfectly fine. I like the ultimate. Her Ride the Wave skill is fine. Sunny's Day is mediocre. Like it does. It's like a good skill as a base and doesn't really need to be upgraded, so it's like whatever. But the biggest thing that you kind of lose on this is probably like Lust in Summer, and this is really like unique. Especially since it mentions further resist damage inflicted by 20% for 60 seconds and accuracy for 30%. Which may be really good. But the way they word it is what kind of piques my curiosity, but not enough to like summon on it. Especially since like the character itself is not bad. It's just not crazy. So if I'm gonna summon a unit, either they have to be absolutely banger, and I like Alpha. The units overall kind of but I mean she's kind of like a good unit. I would say she's good. She's probably really decent on Dark Knight Duel. But if you're facing, I think, Shadow, you might get absolutely clapped. Now for the secondary unit that we actually came here for. But don't. If you get it, you get it. But, let me actually go check her stats as well. I've seen some of the units come out really. 41% crit rate, that's fine. Maxed out for her. She's had pretty like decent crit defense. I mean, she's a buffer. Inflicts slow on all enemies for 10 seconds. Further inflicts poison for 30 seconds and lowers defense of all enemies within 150 centimeters with highest attack. Of any enemy with highest attack by 25%. That's actually really good. Is that the base? It's not bad actually. 5% difference is not too bad. He inflicts poison by 10x is kind of wild though. That gets double. That's actually not bad. That's really good actually. When do you get that? 3. That's expensive. That's expensive. Awaken special ability. That's good. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. The passive ability gets unlocked fully at the first word. Skill 1, I think, is really good. I think I noticed that the skill 1 being, like, really, like, towards the end of this makes it really, like... So most people probably won't be getting this thing, the most benefit of this. And this one's really crazy, actually. So, if you take a look at the regular effect, this is a support heal. Recovers HP of all allies within 150 centimeters of ally with lowest HP. by 100% of attack, worth erases damage inflicted by 20% for 15 seconds, and increases your your special gauge by 25% for 10 seconds. Now going from this to that is a 10% boost in your damage and a 50% extra increase to your heal on top of doubling the rate of your special gauge. If low elemental force. This card is super important, and I do enjoy the fact that it's later, which basically means you have to like truly wail, so there's not going to be too many people with it. Though on the downside, from what I've seen, I would love to have this like this first one, but at the same time, it's really like kind of throwing under the bus is the problem, right? Because unless you're a whale, and it's really hard to whale, I think in this game, this is not going to be a viable unit. not for the SP gauge boost. Like, I think it's really broken to have it here, but it's not quite as good because his super end. Unless you're a whale, you're not going to see the benefit of this unit at all. Like, which is going to be like the skill one. This is nice. This is not bad. Doubling the poison is bad on top of tripling the effect, which is really nice. So this is going from 10% damage to 60% damage, which is really nice. On top of increasing on top of lowering the defense and increasing, on top of lowering the defense of the enemies with the highest attack, or the enemies that are close to the enemy with the highest attack. The way the word this is really weird. So essentially, Tillier, this lowers the defense of any enemy that's next to the enemy that has the highest attack, which is weird, but it is what it is. Let's actually look at the special, actual special stuff. So I think I remember this one. So this one is really good. How good? So each time a debuff is inflicted, raises speed of all blue elemental allies by 10% or 60 seconds. The cooldown is, at least from my understanding, its cooldown is 5 seconds. Also raises damage inflicted by 10% for 60 seconds, and then recovers your gauge by 20 seconds. You double your speed at 20%. You doubles the amount of speed you gave by 20%. And it's the first one. So this is actually like a viable little extra speed booster. I like it. Because you inflict debuffs like really early on. And I bet you, if you have a blue team, ideally you're probably going to be like applying some debuffs. She applies 10, and you only really need to apply it every like 10 seconds, like every like 5 seconds at most. I think if you pair it up with, you have anything like something like that? No. I kind of wish I would say that though. Maybe new. I think new mode has some poison things. Yeah, new applies stuff. I think new is really good as well. So if you pair her up with a Master of Disguise new, I think you're gonna have like a really fun time with her. Especially if you have her weapon. Especially, I think her weapon's really, really, really good. Okay. Yeah, especially new. New increases the speed on top of it, and then she inflicts a debuff as well, which inflicts weakness on a single enemy and reaches. This character is really decent. This thing is really good, and it pairs up well with that one. I think I enjoy that card quite a bit, and I think maybe Ada as well, because Ada recently came out. Ada's like a really good like SP booster as well. Which, by the way, her SP boost is crazy on top of it. Yeah, so if you pair that Ada And actually, let me double check. So I think it's either Ada or yeah, it's either the old Ada. No, you'd have to pair up Ada and or new. So if you pair up new Ada and then old one, yeah, but then you have to like really accommodate really like a bunch of stuff. I think possibly just new because Ada's kit is really good though for like speed. So basically, you can go one of your runs, right? So new is like for increasing the speed. Ada is for increasing your gauge really fast. If you want to ultimate really fast, and you have a shadow, right? So if you have her, your standard team, like and your shielder. So her with her SS Plus gear that recently came out, that's an extra 40% gauge to your 40% increase to your gauge, and if you have the new Zeta, your gauge goes from 40% increase to where is it? So wait, no, other way. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, special gets 25%. Realistically, if you want to ultimate, she's probably like one of the further recovers at 20%, 20 points. And that. Yeah, so 25% of your gauge, and then on top of that, the new Ada, or the new Ada weapon. She'll do pretty good. Overall, should be pretty good. I think the main issue that you start running into again, motion commotion. Yeah, further recovers 20, and then that. Their gauge boost with 25%. So we pair her up with SF. So the theoretical team would be. So you could have Seda, the old Eta, or the old new weapon SS plus Ada with SF Shadow, and then you pair her up with you can either go probably new, the old new, or the new. Which we call it. Then you have this thing you probably like ultimate really fast with Shadow. So let's see, fusion hinge here, characters. I think this one. I think she's just like absolutely crippled Shadow. I think. Okay, so she's really disgusting on the speed. So you actually probably want to have her. Oh god. Okay, so also has ailments if elemental. Is that upgraded it? Focus to 1. Yeah, it won't hold you. I think the elegance of the discreet linear is probably better. Wow, that is rough, buddy. I think she's human too, right? Yeah, so have new. Yeah, no shit. Oh, that is sad. Yeah, the debuff cleansing is crazy. I do like that that unit is like ulti increase really fast. And she inflicts slow, which I don't entirely know what slow does. We can actually check that out right now. Characters is skills or women skills. Nope. Magic gear, event, shadow based other. Nope. Summon. Nope. Battle. Status elements and special effects. Slow. Let's check out what slow does. Reduces speed for duration. I don't know, actually tell me how much. Raises low resistance for the duration of the effect. I mean, it's not bad. Having slow is kind of like a weirdly niche thing. I don't know if there's any units on the red team that would really resist it. Because I don't think I have like a cleansing slow thing, and I've had that issue like several times. I think if I was to run anybody with like the red thing, I'll probably her. And just kind of use Eta for that stuff. But cleansing I don't have. I think and a rose is really good. But yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. The character kind of gets classified like the elegantly discreetly now, in different ways. I think she's probably gonna be like an interesting spiritual special gauge buffer. She's a really good one. I won't mind it. 50% increase to your gauge is crazy. The problem I see with this unit is it being so late. So is it worth investing? It's not bad for us to see it. You're actually going to only mostly see it on whale teams, like truly whale, like fat whale teams. But yeah. So yeah, no, the characters are fine looking. They're perfectly fine. I don't think they're quite as good as I would have liked them to be for me to even think of like summoning on them. The art is actually truly immaculate. I won't lie though, like actually immaculate. But yeah, I think there's better choices. There's like better new ones. As usual, this is typically like the summer kind of throwaways. It's not bad. Zeta would have her spot in a possibly a Monotherian trope SP boosting team. And if she basically hits with the alpha we have on, honestly, she could probably like cause her kind of nuke pretty fast. The problem is like some of the best teams for blue are human, especially with Claire being blue, Cherry being blue, and even Shadow being blue. It's not going to be quite like a long time before we see anybody but like blue team being like a good attack team. Yeah, because blue things being like really just from the looks of things, it's just mostly humans. Like it genuinely, it's just mostly humans. So for the Therian Tropes, you should get a chance. You need to be like Therian Trope or else, will matter. Like you're like if you're blue, you're human team. That's how it is. You're like a human team. You can't really run anything else. Cherry is like overwhelmingly powerful. Like the only characters I probably may not have is like if you have the old. Nope, that's not what I intended to do. I want to look at the team really. Yeah, because realistically, if you have like a pure blue team, you're like human base. Your entire team is like absolutely like demolishing if you're human. Like this is not bad, but like could be better. Human. This could have been replaced. Some of them like have like different like like dissonance and like utility wise, but like there are teams that could actually like destroy. Like I'll tell you a team. You know, like I'll give you like the theoretical one of the best things I can think of. Kind of, it would be. Let's say that's not it. This is not it. So SF Shadow, new elegantly, discreetly. And from that same banner would have been Claire with Demon Power. Poker thing. And then we also have SF Alexia. And then Blue Cherry. That would have been a tip-top team. If anybody wants to try that out, let me know. I would love to see what that looks like. 1, 2, 3... It should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, SF Alexia, Shadowfist Alexia, Imperfect Swordplay Alexia. Your Idolized Swordplay Alexia, whatever the festival is. So essentially, her, this new, and then you have the Cherry. Then you pretty much have like a super speedy attack team with a really tanky front. You could honestly replace Green Shadow, because like, I think Green Shadow is pretty good. But like for speed wise, and like synchronicity or like meshing well, probably the best. Then again, you have teams like this that are just ridiculous, and if you don't understand why, this is like heinous. Humans hurt. Humans hurt. Let me just say that much. Humans hurt. I don't know what this person's doing, but I can't even try going against this team at all, and it's painful. That's not even including the fact that bro's kind of like low. Honestly, he's kind of low. And I'd love somebody to let me know why this is happening. I don't know if like there's some cheesing involved. Let me know. I'm not like declaring anybody, but it's just kind of curious. But regardless, that's it for the video. I hope like the kind of overall review has gone well, and let me know what you think. Yeah, have a good one, and hopefully your summons go well. Bye bye. Oh, and stay silent, actually. Bye bye.